Hi there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lane Hayes. Welcome back to ThreeFlowing. Today we're going to get into probably one of the coolest episodes, I think. But we're going to have Phil Vassar on, a country music artist, a very, very good songwriter, one of my favorites. But as always, I'm joined here by these two guys.
Hey, this is Daniel Cook. Glad to be with you guys.
And Carson, I'm still here.
He's
Still
still
here.
alive.
Still here.
And of course, Ethan, the
I'm still here.
Brazilian guru, is in Brazil at the moment.
He still is in Brazil, and he is enjoying his time there, which is all that matters. And
But he's missing out on tonight because this
He
is a
is.
very special episode.
He is
because
missing out on tonight.
Mr. Phil
because-
Vassar needs no introduction.
Yes, this is a great episode. So y'all are in for a treat for sure.
You may know him from Just Another Day in Paradise or Carlene.
You know,
For a little while, this written song, that was Tim McGraw. My Next 30 Years, Tim McGraw. Some Alan, I can't remember that Alan Jackson song you wrote.
oh my goodness.
Right on the money.
Right on the money.
Right on the money.
Right on the
Thank you,
money.
producer.
He's
Yeah,
got-
so we're good. Yeah.
500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he needs no introduction. He is a legend
He
himself.
is
But we're going to
the
get on into
Phil
it,
Vassar.
and
So-
we hope you guys enjoy.
Mr. Phil Vassar, welcome.
How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well.
Doing
We're doing
well.
well.
Yeah, really happy to have you joining us. We really appreciate you
Yeah.
being here.
yes, sir.
Yeah, we're excited to be
my
rocking and
pleasure.
rolling. Well, Phil, again, thank you for coming on. Well, I'll start us
My
off.
pleasure.
So, obviously you are a fantastic musician. I personally love your songs. So I just, me as a lover of music, I just want to say thank you so much for writing the songs. And, you always make me smile, and it's always great. So thank you for that, sir.
Absolutely.
But
Thank
with
you.
your music career, we got a few notes printed out. I'd just like to ask you how you particularly got started and involved in music.
You know, I grew up with it really. My dad was a singer, and he had a band in my hometown. And, I was just subjected to all of it. I mean, music, all kinds of music playing in the house all the time. My mother and dad, they just, it was always a record player back then and new records. And, they'd get in, it was Elvis Presley to, I mean, all of it. I mean, seriously, James Brown and George Jones and Merle Haggard,
there you
all
go.
the stuff. It was everything, It was,
some
it was all kinds
outlaws.
of- It really was. It was great.
Yeah.
It was. I was subjected to at a young age to all this great music, and all the way to, when I was a kid, I loved Billy Joel
Right.
and Elton John. I loved that music. I loved Queen and the Commodores. I mean, it was just radio back then played all that stuff on the same station. It wasn't so compartmentalized. It was like new country, old country,
Yeah.
80s country. It's now, it was back then, it was just it was kind of a free for all. And it was a lot of fun to grow up listening to all those things. And so I think it's probably why my music, I mean, I was definitely influenced by all of it,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I grew up in a musical family, and I guess just from my mom and dad kind of forced me to listen to their music. I just, I got rock and rolling that way.
Right.
But,
Absolutely.
going to all the concerts that I go to and all that, it seems that a lot of these guys I see out there, they're fantastic performers, but not only that, they're great songwriters. And you not only are a great performer, but you seem to take such good passion and heart in your songwriting. And I'd like to ask you, how did you get not just into the performance of it, but how did you get into such depth of the songwriting?
I think it was from a lot of these artists, like Billy Joel, of course, and Elton John and James Taylor, Jackson Brown. I mean, as a kid listening to the Eagles, it formed what I learned, of course, what I was listening to, and it was great. It wasn't just crap, It was, I mean, I listen to a radio seriously now, and I go, scratch my head a little bit.
Yeah.
But music changes and it evolves into different things. There's a lot of rap in country and all kinds of stuff now, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good to grow musically, but
I think country is becoming a little mainstream nowadays.
Yeah.
which, you know,
I think
isn't
they're
a
trying
bad thing, but, you know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good thing always.
right. Well, you're right about that. Yeah, it's definitely subjective, of course, but I think that you know, good stuff usually kind of shines through, comes through. Of course, stuff gets through. Sometimes I just scratch my head and go, "What in the hell is that?" And but I think that's just sort of different. Change
Yeah.
and it's good. I mean, it's good to be different. I hate when everything sounds the same. When
Right.
every
Yeah.
song's about a truck or about a girl or about a beer. It's like, you know.
It's very
Right.
Right,
basic.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. When you first started songwriting, how is that different from how you approach songwriting today?
I think even back then, everybody was like, "Well, you're so different. It's because you play piano. That doesn't really work here." I'm like, "Well, Jerry Lee Lewis worked here, and so did Ronnie Millsap, and
There
so
you
did
go.
Charlie Rich." And it's like, so what's your problem? And so whenever they would think it was combative, I'm like, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you, you're an idiot, and I'm not an idiot. So no,
I like that.
I'm right.
No,
I
You're
like that. I
wrong.
like that.
of course I'd laugh a lot, and just giggle.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun just kind of picking the brains of some of these record executives and some of the writers and producers. It was just such a, it was such a group of, a lot of outlaws like the Willies and the Waylon and Conway and we just had a lot of fun. Merle Haggard was just one of my favorites and just a great songwriter, and he wrote about real stuff. And I thought
Yeah.
that was such a cool thing about country music. That's what I loved about it. It wasn't
Yeah.
talking about whatever, something I didn't understand.
Yeah. I mean, they were telling stories too, you know. And I mean,
Absolutely.
there's David Allen Coe. He does like talking country, you know,
Right.
where he's pretty much just talking and then the guitar's playing.
I think personally,
Yeah.
one of the greatest storytellers would be Marty Robbins. I mean,
Yeah.
Big Iron is famous one. That was a great.
Absolutely.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
he was just great. He was great, and it really was cool. I mean, Buck Owens and some of those guys.
Yeah.
that
No
was
way.
that was Hee Haw, of course. And then I look back and I mean, the Beatles loved him. The Beatles loved Buck Owens, and they had a lot of respect for his songs and his music, and so it's been. There's a lot of great history in Nashville, and that's what I love about it. They always said it begins with the song, and I think that's the truth. You really, all of these great artists had songs that were, played on the radio, and they changed people's lives, and
Yeah.
it was because it was talking about them and their life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
So-
kind of building on the songwriting, your approach to that, like how do you think like the development of AI has influenced the songwriting industry, and if maybe you could speak to that a bit.
I wish I could speak to it. I don't know.
Your process
I
is
don't
the
know
same.
anything
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny. I've got guys. They'll write on AI, and I don't know. I think it's you can kind of tell. I'm sure they'll get it. They'll get it right at some point. But which sort of concerns me as a writer. But I mean, in the day, back in decades ago, you would just kind of write songs and it was really hard. I mean, now it's like any idiot can just put in a song about a truck, a girl, and a beer, and this, and it pops out a song in like
Yeah.
a minute.
Sadly,
Which is
yeah.
like,
When you start
but
writing,
anyway, that's what we're up against now.
when you start writing, do you start with like the lyrics, the melody? Do you know?
You know what? It's so different. I'll sit at a piano or something and come up with, and I'll have an idea in my head, and I don't know what it says, and then some days it just pops in and goes, "Wait a minute, this is what it's about." Or if it's I've written songs about my birthday or about this or about
That's cool.
my buddies, about a party or about a girl or about all kinds of stuff. You just and
You got to write one about
now-
Chris one day.
yeah. Well, I've written a couple of songs with him, but I can't. Yeah, they're songs I can't talk about.
Oh boy,
Funny.
Chris,
Yeah.
what influence are you on him?
I wanted to ask you a bit because one of my favorite songs that you did, and I've been listening to it earlier today, is "Another Day in Paradise." I got the Hawaiian shirt on to kind of show "Another Day in Paradise," but would love to ask
I
you what
like
was the inspiration behind that song?
Honestly, seriously, it was early morning. Somebody was at my front door. I ran to get the front door, ran through my kitchen, and there was about this much water on my floor. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I didn't know what was going on. But the washing machine pipe had busted and flooded my kitchen. And that's kind of how the day started. I went over to my buddy Craig's, and he wasn't there yet. And I waited for him. He said, man, my car broke down coming back here. It was like one of those funny, it's like the song that almost didn't get written, but
Yeah.
but we just kind of laughed and said, well, you know what? We're writing songs for a living, and it's just another day in paradise.
Yeah,
and,
just
and
another day.
we both just went, okay, let's write that. So we wrote that in about 30 minutes, and there you go.
Oh man.
History.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, it's crazy.
The good songs usually come really quickly. That's
I-
the way it is.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. You know, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been cutting new stuff. I've got my studio kind of back up and running in my barn now, and I like being at home and recording, and so I don't have to go out of the house. And it's just a real comfortable environment. You make your music, and you can work on it as much as you want, change things. You go into a studio and you're paying $2,000 or $3,000 a day, right? So you're
Yeah.
kind of under the gun. Musicians are there and all that stuff. So I always liked recording at the house, and that's kind of what I do now.
So you kind of got an at-home setup now.
Yeah, it's not actually in the house. It's a great space, and I've lived in my property for almost a quarter of a century. 25 years I've been at this house and on this property. So it's Nashville's changed so much since then. But it's a great place, and it's a great place to record and to create and be creative. So we just get up in that space and doodle around and write some crappy songs and write some good ones.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
You just never hear the bad ones.
Wow. With writing songs, it seems like a lot of these other country guys have taken some of the songs that you've written, and I'm just curious. What's the story behind how they've taken some of your songs? Did they kind of pick and choose, or?
Well, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, people use. Or get an idea, something works, so they'll kind of come back to songs and say, this is, this worked for him or worked, years ago. Let's try this. And, everybody's, we try to keep our songs from being, stolen.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Right. Yeah.
there's not a better word for that. But, I mean, you hope that everybody kind of comes up with their own ideas, but some people, they don't, I guess. But that's why we have lawyers for our lawyers.
Like,
Yeah,
straight
there you go.
bars.
I know in other genres of music, other artists will have to pay a certain amount to have a feature on a song. Do y'all
Right.
do that, or do y'all just call up like buddies, like, "Hey man, you want to do a song?"
Yeah, kind of pretty much like that. Hey, will you sing a song with me? Sure.
Yeah,
And it's usually friends, making the call,
yeah,
or if somebody's doing, one of your songs, they'll get permission to do it or whatever. And
right.
but it's kind of cool because a lot of my songs have been around for a long time, so it's kind of cool that they have a new life with some of
Yeah,
these
too.
new artists.
Looks like my favorite is For a Little While, and I think McGraw does that one. So
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun song. I wrote that with a buddy of mine. We were just talking about my hometown and talking about girls, and I had this groove, this piano thing going, and we wrote that thing and knocked it out, and of course Tim was one of the, and still is, but one of the hottest artists. Getting a cut on a Tim McGraw record and having a hit with it was
That's awesome.
A lot.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that might have been
That
a
was a-
fancy check.
That was a 7-figure check for sure, right?
Whoa.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Dang.
So
So
who
it
are
was a good time. And, next 30 years and some of those songs.
Right.
Well, one of the guys did. One was driving my truck. That was T.J. Osborne, the Osborne brothers. You know, the brothers.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
That's
No
cool.
way.
And but yeah, they were working with me for a long time, and then sort of went on their own. And but the Old Dominion guys, of course, are from Virginia, where I'm from, and some of them went to James Madison, some of them went to VCU or Old Dominion or something. But they're good guys, man, and I'm actually going on tour with those guys next year.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I was going to ask, who's probably one of your favorite artists you've gone on tour with?
Oh, Kenny Rogers was great. I loved
Really?
him.
Wow.
Oh, I bet, man.
What a great man. He was great, and
Dang. Yeah.
getting to go out with him, and of course Kenny Chesney, of course, was
Yeah.
a blast, and McGraw, and I mean
Right.
we've gotten to tour with we did Montgomery Gentry and those guys. I really miss Troy. I mean, but it's been such a crazy ride,
Yeah.
imagine?
Year after year, you kind of go out with and you try to do things a little different, and so I had a couple of years off the hard way, which was kind of crazy, but I had some health issues, and so now I'm coming back this year and going out with those guys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
When you toured with Kenny Rogers, did he tell you when to hold him and when to fold him? You know.
Dude, he was he was a dear friend. We knew each other for a long, long time, decades, and as a writer, artists would really, the artists that didn't write, of course, really appreciated the songwriters.
Right.
Conways and Kenny Rogers, of course, and Dolly and all these folks, and so it was a lot of fun just to. I mean, you talk about a guy that would we'd sit backstage or wherever. And hey, man, or I was on the road with him. He calls. He goes, "Hey, man, let's go to a movie." I'm like, "Okay."
This is Kenny Rogers?
Me and the Gambler are just hanging out.
That's awesome.
That's
How many people
funny.
can say that? Wow.
Yeah. It's a really cool community, Nashville is. I mean, there's a lot of great, the artists. I mean, a lot of us live in the same area and go to the same restaurants and stuff.
Right.
It's just, it's really cool.
That's
And,
cool. It's like a little community, family, if you will.
Yeah.
it's very small, when it comes to the writer community or whatever. There's, several hundred, right? Not, millions like it is in the big city, right?
Right.
So it really is great, and we've all seen each other through a million good things and bad things, and been to #1 parties for each other, or done this or that, and
Yeah.
so it's a great community. And I love it. I love Nashville. I love it here. I've loved it. I mean, from the day I moved to Nashville, I felt like, man, this is it. I love it here.
Yep.
Where am I going to go?
That's awesome.
So where are you guys? Where are you guys today? In Atlanta? Is
We're
that
in
where you are?
Peachtree
Yeah.
City.
We're in the
Peachtree, great.
Peachtree
Peachtree
City.
City. So this is where we have our
We're
studio
in our
where we film.
studio,
so,
ThreeFlow, right?
The studio 3Flow. Yeah, we've built this out, and
I get to see you guys pretty
Yes.
soon. Was it next month, right?
Yes, sir.
sure, yeah, we're looking forward to having you there.
Well, I can't wait, man. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Why don't we go into a little bit about the purpose behind that, and talk about your involvement, Mr. Vasser, with Chris's organization.
Well, as you know, Chris is one of my dear friends, and I've got friends here in Nashville that have been affected just like Chris has by suicide, and it's unbelievable. I mean, Chris didn't just go through; he's been through the ringer, with his family and with his daughter, and we just come together, and I think the more awareness we have for this, and especially with the problem with drugs and alcohol, and the role they play, a lot of roles in that, anything we can do to be a positive influence for these folks. I mean, and I just want to be part of it, and Chris and I've talked a lot about it, and let's just try to knock this thing out and make make some things happen, right? For a good thing.
Sir.
Yeah, such a good cause.
Well, we've done really great, and it's a great organization. It's for these girls don't have a home, no matter whether their parents are gone or are not alive or whatever. But it's been just a great. I don't know. It's been a great charity that we've done a lot for, and we'll continue to, and we're very proud of it.
And we'll do our part to spread awareness and do what we can to help where we can. There's no doubt about
Thank you so
that.
much for that. That's appreciated, man.
Yeah.
You guys can do a lot more than we can do.
Yeah.
Just to let the word out and to get the word out.
I was about to say,
And,
get the word out for the concert and all that.
The golf tournament.
Yeah.
Golf tournament too, yes.
And by the way, I was going to ask, down the road we have Noonan and Alan Jackson's with Noonan, and I had to ask you, have you worked with him? I think one of your songs is one that he uses.
Yeah, I wrote a song called "Right on the Money" that was the #1 for Alan. And Alan's one of my favorites. I mean, Alan's a great songwriter, great singer, great, and he's had some health issues, but I've known Alan for a long time, and man, I tell you what, he is. I hate what he's going through, but it's just part of. Gosh, man, it's part of life, man. I don't.
Yeah. I know.
He is. The songs he's written, good grief, man.
Yeah.
And he's just he was just a great entertainer, singer. I just love him, man. And a great guy.
Yeah, he had a
one of the greats.
benefit concert. What was that? Probably
Noonan after the tornado.
Yeah, Noonan had a tornado, and he came, and I think there was about 25,000 folks out there, and I was out there, and it was awesome,
I think it's great when artists like Alan Jackson, yourself, just give back to the community. I think it's very just a wonderful thing to do, and definitely can't thank you enough for being part of something like that.
It's the best. It's why we do it. It makes us feel good about what we do. We get to sing or play or come to an event, and it raises money and awareness for causes, and so it's good to be able to help like that. Love it.
That's awesome.
So when you're on tour, do you enjoy the bigger venues, or do you like the smaller, more intimate settings?
You know what? They're all fun. They're all fun. Just getting to play music for a job is like the greatest thing ever. And you talk about loving what you do and doing what you love. I mean, it's fun to be in smaller venues where you could do songwriter things. You can talk. Be intimate and talk about why you wrote a song, or who you wrote a song about, or something, because people like those stories. I think it's kind of fun to do that, but also it's fun when you're doing a festival and you're with 30 or 40,000 people.
Right. Yeah.
You're just going, turn it up and let's rock the house.
That's awesome.
So would you rather prefer a festival over a venue, or which one?
You know what? It's
all
they're
fun.
they're different. I think that's what's so fun about it. It isn't like the same thing every night. You do the same. Because it alleviates the boredom. When you get to kind of break it up a little bit and do some different things.
And when you're out there performing, do you have a favorite song you like to play? Maybe of yours, or maybe even a cover.
You know what, we did it like the last couple of years. We've been kind of doing like hits and heroes. Like I do a bunch of the hits that I've had. I'll do my songs, and then I'll do a Bob Seger song, or I'll do a Billy Joel or Elton John, or the songs that I grew up with that sort of shaped me as a songwriter, as a singer, and as an artist. And I think it's fun because I think it gives. It isn't like I'm just doing all my songs. I'm doing. People love to hear your interpretation of a classic hit or something.
Right.
I'll do Piano Man just about every night. I close the show with it.
That's cool.
Which is a lot of fun. But I think it's cool that we can kind of do what we want to do, and I think we even ask for requests sometimes, and people yell out, something that's an obscure cut or an album cut, because after you've done 10, 12 albums, you've got hundreds of songs that you've recorded and
Right.
that other artists have recorded. So you just, so it's kind of cool. It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You ever had any cool like fan interactions on tour?
That's a good question.
Well, yeah, no, just, it's a lot of fun too when you're playing with other artists and they get up and sing with you or whatever. We've had, Jody Messina come out and sing with me or Kenny or Chesney or whoever, and so that's always a lot of fun, and to get to do that, even, like I said, with Kenny would always get me up. He'd say, "Come up and sing a song with me." I'm like, "What?" I know all your songs. But I tell you what, he was just the greatest guy, and miss him. But it's cool to actually be in a room with these guys, classic guys you grew up with, and talk to them about music and about songs. Especially like Mel Haggard was one of my favorite writers of all time, and he would just tell the funniest stories. I mean, I would laugh and cry, and he would just be just rolling, and just having those interactions with another human being like those guys, it was very, very humbling. But I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I heard you saying you were hanging around Kenny Chesney. One guy that was with him a lot was Uncle Cracker. Did you ever have a chance to meet him?
I know him well. He's one of my good friends, and
Really?
and he is. He's he lives over here too now. So
He lives up in
He,
Virginia?
no, he lives here. I live in
Oh,
Nashville.
in
He
Nashville?
lives,
Okay, gotcha.
and his kids go to school right down the street, and Billy Gibbons is now a neighbor from ZZ Top.
No way.
Yeah.
I actually met him one day. I met.
You got a picture,
I got
right?
Joseph Hill or Dusty Hill, Frank Beard, and Billy Gibbons.
Of course.
Man, those guys rock.
Yeah,
Put that on the
man.
screen.
Yeah, I'll put that on the screen.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we get to record a song with those guys, and we had such a great time doing it. It was me and Paisley, and I can't remember. I think Keith Urban and some of the other guys that were all kind of label mates, and we did some songs together, and it was a blast. We just had so much fun, and Dusty and of course Billy. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, they hit those chords, and you're just going, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But they're great people too. Great.
Speaking of college, college football just started. You got a favorite team?
Oh boy.
Well, it's I've got a lot of friends that are coaches, which is a lot of fun too. Because as a matter of fact, I talked to one of them today, and you just I tell you what, that is a job there, and it's fun. I always pull for Vanderbilt too, because Vanderbilt is a home straight down the street, right?
Right.
They're doing
yeah.
well.
And the UT guys, of course.
Yeah. I mean, Vandy's
UT
great
guys.
at baseball.
Well, they're a great baseball school,
Yeah.
and heck, they're undefeated. They're 3-0, I think, in
Wow.
football this
Yeah.
year.
I think they're ranked
Oh,
this
really?
week. Yeah.
Oh, hmm.
So
Yeah, they beat South Carolina last week, which was ranked number 10 or 11, and just killed them.
Huh, yeah,
So,
they'll
I mean-
pop out with like a crazy or win every
Yeah.
once in a
Beat
while.
Alabama last year?
I was about to say
Yeah.
they beat Alabama
I remember
last year.
we played them in the bowl game because I'm a Georgia Tech fan. So they beat us
Yeah.
last year. So
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah, Georgia Tech, they had a good game too last week.
they did. They beat
uh,
Clemson.
Yeah,
Yeah, they beat Clemson.
And
That was
who-
awesome. That was amazing.
yeah. One of the other guys, Mr.
The
Lane,
man in
here.
orange, he loves Clemson.
y'all,
He's a
y'all can
Clemson.
shut up. Just no.
and I'm a Dogs fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clemson took a beating. It's kind of fun to see some
remind
new
me.
schools,
Yeah.
especially Vanderbilt. It's so fun to see them do well.
With college football, seeing as how you're from Virginia, are you a Commanders fan or are you a Ravens fan?
Well, I mean, I'm a Titans fan, really, because
Titans. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
because I live in Nashville and I have had season tickets. You know, I'm one of the first ones that got them back in '99. So
Okay.
it's fun. We're going through we're rebuilding for sure. We've been rebuilding for several years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But,
I think the Falcons use that same pitch.
Well, the Falcons ain't doing
They're
too
not an
bad. They're
eternal
not.
rebuild,
The,
you know.
the Falcons ain't
uh,
doing too shabby. At least
heck, they
this
beat the
past
Vikings.
Sunday.
Yeah, they didn't they beat the Vikings the other night? Is that who it was?
Yeah,
Was it Atlanta?
yeah. I
Yes.
think
No, it was
Penix.
at in Viking Stadium.
Yeah, Penix Jr.
Yes.
And I think this is
Yeah,
only his second year, and he's doing great.
yeah, it's unreal, man. So it's fun to get, like you said, new blood, and it's kind of fun when new teams, you know, it's not the Chiefs or it's not, you know, somebody that,
Yeah.
you know, because the Patriots are rebuilding now too, you know. So
Right.
we'll see how they do, and you know, it's weird to see Belichick at North Carolina. It's just so weird.
Oh, I
You
know.
Yeah, that
Very
is
strange.
It is weird seeing him out of college,
Yeah,
and in
I mean,
that baby blue.
I don't
We've
know.
got
I'm a
he's got a controversial topic we could go on, but we won't.
yeah.
We
I'm a
won't go on
fan.
there.
I'll go there. But
Well, that's
Yeah,
oh, that's crazy.
yeah.
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that,
Well,
Chris?
more
I mean, you
power
got a
to him, I
problem with
guess. You know.
I
But
mean,
again,
age is just a number.
that? Yeah,
Maybe.
it's an age.
so they say. So
So they say.
So
a
they
big number.
say.
But
And by the way,
It's a
so
big number.
with
Yeah,
touring,
big number.
how do you keep it fresh and keep it more exciting? You talked about how you switch it up and play different songs and do covers and
Yeah.
whatnot, but you know, how do you particularly keep it fresh on and off stage?
Well, you know, I think you know, for me, it's easy now because you know, I took a couple of years off, really, you know, for the hard way. So it's kind of fun to come back and just play shows now. I'm not so worried about, you know, of course, but when you're when you have songs on the radio and you're working the radio, you have to do all this stuff to just get your songs played, right?
Yeah.
So it's just you know, now I just kind of I don't have to do that anymore. It's just fun. I get to just relax. Even my buddies are like, just relax now and have fun, and that's what I'm doing. You
Right
know?
when you want to,
Yep. And play when you want to.
play when you want
Yeah.
to, for who you want to, where
That's
you
right.
want to.
Now you're
that's the way to
talking.
do it. Yeah.
It's exactly right, man. It's great. So you know, you just, I mean, I get to do what I love for a living, really. You know,
Yeah.
and so there's no greater joy than that, really. You know, when you think about it.
Yeah.
That's definitely a blessing.
Before going on stage, do you have any particular thing that you do? And the reason why I ask this is, I've been a drummer for quite a few years now, and I watch like the Rolling Stones, and Charlie Watts, before he'd go on stage, he'd do this like nervous tick, like nervous dance, and the more I read about it into other artists, they all have this interesting thing that they kind of get the butterflies out with. And I'm curious if you have anything that you do before going on stage.
I just like to drink a bottle of whiskey, a whole
I
bottle,
was
and then
I was about to say, or maybe a special drink.
That's awesome.
Whole bottle.
heck no, you know, just it's fun just to, you know, of course I'm not a drinker or a drug guy, but now I am. I do a lot of drugs. They're prescriptioned, but
Oh, me too.
you know, but yeah, that's right. It turns into that. But you know what? Before the show, we just we jam on music we love.
Yeah.
You know, somebody will play something, and we just kind of get up, and then it's like, all right, it's time to go play. So it gets you kind of, focused on what you're doing, and it gets you excited to go out on stage and just rock it. I mean, I don't write a lot of ballads anyway. So I mean, I've had a couple of hit ballads, but most of my songs are I like to turn the groove up and just play
Yeah.
and so it's a real energetic show and I like to get to do that and it just keeps it fun, it keeps it exciting.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Do you have any songs or like outside of country or guilty pleasure songs that you enjoy?
Well, heck yeah, are you kidding? I mean,
I'd love to hear a few.
well, I mean, it's like I said, I've grown up on Billy Joel and Elton John and the Commodores and Lionel Richie and I mean some of the some of that stuff is just, I mean, like I said, Queen and Loverboy and Journey, and I mean, just all that
Yeah.
good, fun old
Yeah.
stuff.
Good selection.
It is fun, ZZ Top and 38 Special, and I mean all that guy. It's just it never gets old to me.
I
Just listening to that.
well, I can tell you one thing. You sure got good music taste. That's for sure. No wonder why your music's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's just fun to when you listen to great music, it inspires you to really write great music. I think you raise the bar a little bit. I mean, it's. I think sometimes I listen to some of the country music now. It's like the bar's on the ground. It's like
Yeah.
it's like step up.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm not dissing it. But it's just like it's not interesting. It's the same. Like I said, it's the same truck. It's the same girl. It's the same beer.
Yeah.
It's like, good Lord, get another subject. We do anything, change it up.
Right.
You've
So-
got.
Two beers.
Do you have some hobbies outside of music you like to do?
I mean, golf is fun. I don't play enough golf. I want to, but I just try to, exercise. Right?
Right.
It helps me. It helps me through my day, and it keeps me. So I'm trying to get back into that groove and make it happen.
There you go.
So I'm excited.
Fantastic.
Has that been difficult with what happened with your health a few years ago?
Well, I feel so much better now. I was really struggling, for a good bit. I didn't know what in the heck was going on. I was like, man, I'm eating right. I'm eating chicken and spinach every meal, and don't drink and don't do any of the stuff. And I just felt bad, and I went. So I think it's just getting back into the groove again. Getting back on tour and playing and like I said, we're going out this year with the Old Dominion guys and whoever else. We're just gonna get out and have some fun and
Have a good routine.
yeah, that's it. Play a bunch of hits and go
Have a
to
bunch of
town.
fun.
That's what it's about.
Did I see that? I think you'd mentioned this earlier, but you had done a concert with Ronnie Millsap. It was like a
We did his last show together.
wow.
It was us and Lone Star and Trace Atkins and I know Terry Clark and I mean everybody was out there and Ronnie's great. I mean what a great guy and I mean you talk about a guy that's had 40 number one songs or something.
Yeah.
Man. I mean he's a great guy and amazing and I mean he's in his 80s and
Yeah, wow.
Wow. I mean, it is inspiring. I mean, you guys can't even see. He can't even see and plays better than everybody that does,
That's amazing.
including me for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the best couldn't see, could they?
No.
Ray
But,
Charles.
Stevie Wonder. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty incredible. But it's a fun vibe. I've got a great band. I love playing with these guys, and it makes for just a good time. You're out there and you're having fun with the guys you really like to play with and your friends and you just heck, it's kind of fun to change things up and
Yeah.
It's true.
it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need another drummer, we got one right here.
Yeah.
So,
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on,
If your drummer needs a smoke break, just let me know.
smoke break. I love it.
Well, I was going to ask, being such an influential songwriter, what advice would you give to, say, a younger musician on his or her adventure in going into songwriting?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. No, I mean, I think. No, I think do your thing. Do something different. Not do. Well, this guy does this. They're already doing it. I think just it's always the point of difference, right? It's in business and everything. You just try to find. You gotta differentiate yourself from everybody else. You gotta look different. I mean, everybody's got the same hat, the same look, the same this. It's just. You get to a point where it's just like, holy crap, I don't know how that, but it all kind of comes down to the song, and if you've got the right song, you know, that's gonna help everything. It's gonna make everything different, make you different, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
And I know there's no particular, I guess, rule book for it because it seems like there are some bands out there that it's taken them years before they, took off, and then sometimes it's been their very first album. So,
That's right.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the thing is you got to have something to follow it up with, and I always think that too. You have to. It's great to have that first album that's great, and then you never hear from a lot of folks. So there's a lot of pressure to kind of to equal or at least maybe surpass what you did on the first one. So you just keep going, you keep plowing away and have fun and do what you do and hopefully it works.
and
Yeah.
when touring, and I don't want to take I know you
Go
guys have
ahead.
questions, but my dad told me this. He said, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I wanted to ask you,
That's
Mr. Vassar, do you
my
love what you
favorite.
do?
Absolutely, I love
Awesome.
it. That's why I do it now. I think I do it because because I want to. I love it, and it's not like it used to be. It's like, oh my God, I gotta play, and oh my God, I hope I hope I can pay my rent. So, there's starvation is a big motivator.
Right.
Yeah. Were there ever times that you thought about giving up, or?
I don't think I ever thought about giving up. I think I don't know what else I'd do. I really don't. I mean, I love doing what I do. I think if I would have just been playing in clubs, or I think I would have just done it, and you just get to, but I kept trying and kept pushing forward, and you just get, I don't know if I was just ignorant, didn't think. I said, I'm going to make this happen. And everybody's like, you're crazy. And they were right.
Yeah.
So you went through a phase where you were playing at the bars on Broadway.
Well, I had my own, I finally had my own bar. I was, years ago, I just decided, I said, look, man, I'm going to get my own place. I've got a great following, and I'm going to bring them all to my place. And that's what we did. I played there on weekends, and it was just rocking. It was packed out, and at that point it was just like, holy crap, this is amazing, right? I'm doing my thing, I'm doing my own kind of music. I'm doing, I wasn't just playing, what everybody does on Broadway, the same songs, the same top 40 or this, and
Yeah.
I was doing things that were different, and it worked. It worked for me, it gave me the confidence really to sort of just broaden my horizons a little bit and not and step outside the the perimeters of what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
maybe took me longer to get there.
I know I've said that's awesome a lot, but I got no other words
It
to,
is. It's just
Yeah.
it
articulate
is
it. It's
fantastic.
awesome.
Is that place still around?
You know what? When I got my record deal, as a matter of fact, I had my deal. The label came in, they signed me. They said, you know what? We're taking you on the road. I went out with Tim and Faith immediately. So I said goodbye, and they closed down within about a month. It just because it was just a fun place to be. It was a fun vibe, and it was a great place to come and watch music, and it was like Cheers, kind of like Cheers bar, except with about 300 people in it. It was like wall to wall,
Yeah.
and it was really a lot of fun.
Okay.
Great music and great times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you balance, your songwriting, touring, with, spending time? I know you mentioned you have two daughters. So like, how do you balance that with personal and music?
Well, I think I'm home a lot more now, which is they're probably going, can you leave? When are you leaving town, Dad? Yeah. When are you coming back? Yeah. So, but it's you know, that's just part of it. It takes us out on the road. It takes us. We have to go take our music to the people, right? And
Right.
it's a lot different, you know, now. But you with internet and streaming and all this stuff, people can hear your music in all over the world, right? And so it's you kind of have to go where they are and have shows. I mean, I love doing that, right? I love to play all over.
Hmm.
You know, we've been I don't know how many countries we've been to, but we've been to a lot.
Really?
You know, all the way to Australia and all the way, Europe and
Hmm.
the UK and Germany and Switzerland and Austria and all the
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
and Italy. You know, so it's just we've been very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, music transcends cultures, I think, and languages. It's really
You're
amazing.
right. And they're
Yeah.
singing your songs. I'm going, holy crap! They're singing. We played London. I'll never forget going over there, and I read. We talked to a bunch of people about the one place that we first started when in London, and they said, "Man, it's gonna be great. People love country music there." I said, "Well, I know Garth's played, and I know Vince, and a
Right.
lot of the guys that had played, and so we went over there, and I'm looking, and nobody was there, right? And it was about like 1,000 seat venue, and which I thought maybe it's too big. We do a smaller one. No, 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 it's going to be good. And so we kind of just hung out during the day, and I was just like, it's kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, this is a mistake. And then when it's like everybody, they got there like right before it started. The curtain opened and it was packed. And
Wow.
like, and they were singing every song, and I mean, it was unbelievable. So it was life changing, really, because it was it was a new environment. You're completely out of your comfort zone, right? So,
Yeah.
but was very inspiring, and to meet those folks and to hear them singing your songs, and man, it changed my life. It really did.
I got one more quick question for you. We've got one of the guys is local from a band called Blackberry Smoke. Are you familiar with them?
Of course, I love those guys.
You love
They're
those
great.
guys? Yeah, they're awesome.
They're good. Yeah.
Oh my God, those guys are just I mean, you talk about rock. I mean,
Yeah, man. And I mean, I
they're
know the lead singer's son, Spencer. I don't know if
yep.
you've met him?
Of course.
No. Oh, that's
I know those guys
well.
since
Dang,
they
what you
came
He's
out.
met
know?
everybody. You know?
Well, now we got
course.
I got a
Awesome.
mutual with Phil Vassar. How we go?
That's awesome.
And the Kentucky Headhunters is the dad of
Yeah.
one of the guys, and of course, they're just great. And but we've done shows with those guys over the years,
Oh, sick.
and we were. I mean, they are they're cranking and rocking. I mean, they put on a great show, and their music's killer. I mean, I just it's very, I don't know. It's like they're a classic rock band that came out
Yeah.
new, and but they know how to jam. They're great musicians, and I love them. They're great.
Sweet.
Awesome.
It's so funny.
It's fantastic. I mean, there's so many stories here.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the cool thing is that as you keep going and you meet so many folks over the years, and some of them are just they change. They're
Yeah.
just like holy crap.
Yeah.
And they're one of those groups, man. They made some great music, and they still are.
Yeah.
And playing, so it's fun to you go somewhere and you see guys like that, and you're just like, man,
Yeah.
geez, it inspires you, right? Really
Yeah.
does.
And I know he brings Spencer out to play on stage sometimes, and that he's younger than me, and he can play, man.
They don't mess around, bro. They
No,
don't
man, they know how to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
They-
I love it that you know those guys. They're so great.
Yeah. They're good
Tell them
people.
hello for me, man. Tell them Uncle Phil says hey.
Uncle Phil. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I saw Spencer, but yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Wait.
Unreal.
And I know we talked about the hobbies and passions outside of music, and I know you stay active and everything.
I try to.
Try to. Uh,
I'm working on it.
Well, I was gonna ask if it wasn't for music, what career path do you think you'd be doing right now?
Great question.
Well, probably janitor.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I always thought about it'd be cool to be a doctor, right? So I worked at a hospital. That was one
Dr.
of my first
Vasser.
jobs. That was yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah,
And Dr.
yeah.
Vassar,
So
that sounds like
It's
an
got
actual
a
doctor.
It's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I'd believe
Vasser,
it.
yeah. Yes,
New stage
that's the
name, I
point
guess.
here. That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
and
What was that show? It was on Saturday Night Live. Mel Gibson, dream gynecologist.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Was that?
That was
I
funny.
don't remember. It was
It's
great.
funny.
Yeah.
It
But
really
it was. I think that's what I would do. I would love that. I love medicine. I love all that stuff.
right.
Awesome.
It really seems like you found your calling, though.
Oh, yeah.
With
Most
songwriting,
definitely.
music, and I think it's just really inspirational that you stuck to that, through thick and thin, and really carved out quite the career for yourself. And I've just really enjoyed hearing your stories today.
It's been great, man. It's been
Yeah.
great. I'm very blessed to do it, and thank you guys for having me, man. This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We want to do it again.
Thank you for coming
Hopefully I'll
on.
see you
Thank
in
you for,
Atlanta, right? I'll see
Yeah.
you in Peachtree City.
Yes,
Yeah, we'd
sir.
love to see you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
and before we go away, I'd like to bring on somebody real quick. Please, she'd like to say hello. She's our producer, and she was help us out, and I think she deserves to say hello.
Say hello.
Well, of course.
Here, you want to
The,
sit
the
here?
mic is
I
probably
can-
muted.
Hi.
Where are you? I hear you, but I don't see you.
Did you unmute the
No.
mic?
This is where Lane's sitting. So can you see me? I was where Lane
I-
is sitting.
I cannot.
You can see. It should be on. Oh
Happy.
goodness.
Oh,
It should be on that
there
one.
she
Yeah.
is.
Hey.
There.
Okay.
Yeah, this is our producer
Hi.
Grace. She helps us behind the scenes, and it's just been great to have her and all everyone that makes this show possible. And so we really appreciate your help, Grace.
Yeah, of course.
And,
It's been
I know.
really interesting hearing everything about you. A lot of stuff I did not know, so that's really cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just, it's like my buddy said, man, you just stick around long enough and you'll have a story.
Yeah.
You know, good or bad, I mean, it hadn't all been good, but it's been interesting, right?
yeah,
It's been a
Yeah.
ride for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, well, I definitely like to thank you, Mr. Vassar, for coming on. This has been just so interesting, and I've enjoyed hearing about your career, your stories, your hobbies outside of it, and your charity work that you do. It's just been really just an amazing opportunity to have you on the show, and we really appreciate you coming on today.
Well, thank you guys for having me, seriously.
And where
And,
can people go if they want to find you, find your work that you do?
Well, I think philvassar.com. I think that's, I could, Garth Brooks was already taken. Okay, yeah, but it's been a great,
Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff.
all of them. Yeah. It's been a fun ride, and heck, we're still going. So I'm excited. I'm
we
excited
go.
to come out and play next year, and I'm excited to see you guys in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And also help stop suicide.us. Right? Go there and
Absolutely, yeah.
support the concert, and we hope to see you there. So, yeah, well, thank you again, and really appreciate you being here. Make sure you guys, audience, tune in next time for another episode where we hope to entertain, educate, and inspire. So thank you guys.